All right, Spurs beat the Hornets 115 to 102, and we're on a fucking heater, bro. We've won 16 of our last 18 games, and we're the best team in the NBA. I don't know if that's true yet. We'll see what happens if we play OKC or Denver in the playoffs. If we lose, then everyone's going to say those teams are better than us, and I guess that's fair if they beat us in the playoffs. But if you say we're the best team in the NBA and people try to act like that's not even something to talk about, that just doesn't make sense to me because we're definitely arguably the best team in the NBA. We beat all the contenders. The Nuggets, the Thunder, Rockets, and Lakers aren't contenders, but we beat them. We beat Boston. We beat the Pistons as well. Have we beaten Cleveland? I don't know if we beat the Cavaliers, but I think we beat them earlier this season. So we've knocked off all the contenders. We've won 16 of our last 18. We lost to Denver because Wemby wasn't playing. Could Wemby have played and we still lose? For sure, that could have happened. But again, we're just on a heater, guys. I missed a lot of this game. I was at work. I was trying to see what I could see from the bar, but I did miss a lot of this one. But we do win by 13 points. San Antonio has the 54 rebounds. Charlotte has the 39. First thing, really quick, Charlotte's a good ass team since February. I think it was January 22nd. So basically the beginning of February, they had a stat, and Charlotte, they're the second best team behind us in that stretch. They were like 19-6 or something like that. They've just been so on fire, and they're a really good team. I think they're around like the sixth seed or so in the Eastern Conference, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll probably be able to squeak in for possibly a playoff spot, but definitely a play-in spot at least. And I do like Charlotte's team a lot. They're a really fun team to watch. But we do out rebound them 54 to 39. Not a huge surprise. Luke Cornett got some good minutes out there. I don't know how many rebounds Wemby had, but he did a good job out there as well. We have the 29 assists to their 18 assists. 18 assists is pretty bad as a team. If you're at 30 assists, that's kind of my threshold. If we hit 30 or get close to 30 assists, I always consider that a good game. Moving the ball around, we've done an awesome job just moving the ball as a team lately. Feels like Stephon Castle has 10 assists every single game. It feels like De'Aaron Fox has at least like 7 or more assists every single game. Dylan Harper comes in. I don't think he even played in this game. I think it's his ankle from last game that was bothering him. But if Dylan Harper plays like 25 minutes, you can kind of chalk him up for 6 or more assists. So we get so much from our playmaking. Wemby did have the 8 assists this game. I think he's definitely had a triple-double. I think it was with blocks, though. I don't know what Wemby's career high is in assists, but that was definitely pretty close to it with the 8 assists that Wemby had. I want to see Wembanyama career high assists. I think 8 was pretty close. Has he had double-digit assist games? Let's see. Okay, yeah, 10 assists right there. So his career high was actually 10 assists. Again, I don't know if he had a triple-double that game, but he definitely had a triple-double with the blocks. But the 8 assists was great from Wemby. He had a nasty lob to Luke Cornett. He was kind of like a little sweeping, like a finger roll lob up to Luke Cornett that was nasty. He had the one to Stephon Castle late in the game that was really, really awesome, that reverse dunk. He had another one. He's out on the fast break. It's like a 3-on-2, I want to say. Wemby's right in the middle. He's dribbling up the court, and he kicks out. I want to say that was to Stephon Castle for a corner 3 on that one. So Wemby's playmaking looked really good in this game, and he ends up getting the 8 assists. I'd like to see Wemby get more assists, but it's kind of weird because we have our 3 dynamic, really, really good guards. Castle, Fox, Harper, of course. They have the ball in their hands so much, and they do so much with the playmaking that I've heard people saying before. They want to see Wemby get used, I guess, more like Jokic or be more of an offensive hub. But we don't really need Wemby to be our offensive hub. We just have so many guards around him that can help create and help play make. I always say with Wemby, Wemby's not so much the guy you want to be passing you the ball. Wemby's the guy you want to be passing the ball to. So I'm not so much mad about Wemby not having a bunch of double-digit assist games. To be honest, he usually doesn't even have 5 assists for most of the games, if we're just going to be totally honest about it, and it doesn't really bother me. If we're in a position where Wemby didn't have all these great playmakers around him, kind of like Denver, they have Jamal Murray. He's an amazing playmaker. Aaron Gordon's really good as well, but their offense is just drawn up to run all around Jokic, where our offense is drawn up to kind of run through Stephon Castle and run through De'Aaron Fox. So Wemby's 8 assists were awesome, but I'm not really concerned about him not having high assist numbers because our offense just isn't set up that way. It wouldn't be the best way to run our offense right now. Maybe in 3 or 4 years, Wemby's more of an offensive hub. He's a better passer and playmaker, but right now we're just gonna go further riding off De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and letting those guys do what they do best and play make out there. Both teams have 7 steals. That's a wash. That's kind of crazy. Charlotte has the 10 blocks. We have the 6. We'll get to the player stats in a second, but we usually win the shot blocking battle. It's not a surprise why. It's because Wemby fucking has 5 blocks every single game, but Charlotte got us there. Moussa Diabate, I don't know how many blocks he had in this game. Again, I only got to see bits and pieces of it, but shout out to Big Moose, though. That's his nickname, Big Moose. If you don't know about Moussa Diabate on the Hornets, and y'all saw him play. He's a big physical dude out there. He's kind of like, he's like exactly what we would need at our power forward position, a player like Moussa Diabate. So shout out to Big Moose. Charlotte has the 9 turnovers. We have 11. If you have like, I'd say 10 turnovers or less, probably even 12. Let's call it 12 turnovers or less. I consider that a good game taking care of the basketball. That's 3 turnovers per quarter. If you're at 10 turnovers or less, I consider that just a great game as far as taking care of the ball goes. But we have 11 turnovers. We did a great job taking care of the ball. Charlotte only has 9 turnovers, which is insane out there. LaMelo Ball, guess you could say he's turned over a new leaf. He was always a good player. He was always a good playmaker. Now he actually has a good team around him with the Charlotte Hornets team right now. And for people to say, you can't win with LaMelo, he takes too many crazy shots and things like that. I would agree with that for the most part, but to be fair to LaMelo, his teams have always been jokes his whole career. Now he finally has a good team around him that's actually set up to go in the playoffs and have some success, and now you see how LaMelo's playing, and his play style actually is conducive to winning for the most part. But, I get people seeing LaMelo take these 1-foot step back threes and shit. He still does it, and it's fun as hell to watch. I won't lie about it, but people see that and think LaMelo's not a winning player. But, he's actually doing a great job of kind of helping guide the Hornets. They have so much talent, but LaMelo Ball is the head of the snake, and he's done a great job out there. Charlotte shoots 37% from the field. That's insane. Again, I didn't get to watch the whole game, but from what I saw, we were playing really great defense out there. We shoot 46% from the field, so you're usually going to win the game if you shoot 10% better from the field than your opponent. Both teams are 33% from 3, so that's a wash. One thing that's good to see, we're 85% from the line. I don't think it was last game, like 2 games ago, we literally shot 50% from the line. We were like 7 for 15, I think, from the free throw line, so that was really bad. It's good to see us getting back to making some free throws. The Hornets shot 82% from the line, so both teams were really good as far as that goes. It's pretty much the story of the game, I would say. We're 58 points in the paint. Charlotte is 30 points in the paint. From what I saw from Wemby, it was on, pretty sure it was Bridges guarding him, and he just goes left and just fucking dunks on him with his left hand in the first quarter. That play was disgusting. Wemby I think he caught a lob from Castle. He had one where I think it was Fox tries to lob it to him, and he kind of fumbles the ball and then regains it and dunks it back in. But, we did a great job scoring the paint. Stephon Castle has the nasty-ass alley-oop. He had another, it's like an in-and-out crossover, and he dunked on the Hornets' whole fucking team. So we usually kill it in the paint. Usually if Wemby's playing, we're normally going to win the points in the paint battle. Even if it's not Wemby, when he's in the game, he just opens up things so much for Castle and Fox out there. We have the 20-second chance points. Charlotte has 16, kind of a wash there. We have 20 fast break points. Charlotte has 16. But, the real story of the game is probably going to be your points in the paint. We scored twice as many points in the paint as they did, and it's going to be really hard to win games if you're getting doubled up in the paint. Moving on. We'll start with Harrison Barnes. He got the 22 minutes out there. He has the 2 points. He's 0 for 3, 0 for 1 from 3, 3 rebounds. Again, I didn't get to watch a lot of the game. I'm not just going to look at numbers and try to take away the whole picture. I'm going to look at some numbers, of course, and try to take away what I can from it. But as far as what I've seen, the past 10 games or so from Harrison Barnes, his 3 ball has been really off. He was on fire from 3, The first like 15 games of the season, Sean Elliott starts calling him Mr. 100%. He's selling Mr. 100% merchandise. I'm like, Sean, we're fucking 15 games in the season. You're making up nicknames and selling merchandise for Harrison Barnes. I think Sean Elliott jinxed him. I think Harrison, he's just playing. He's in his rhythm. He's knocking down threes. I'm a veteran. It's all good. And then one day he comes in a home game. He's about to shoot a three and he sees some guy on the sidelines. He has a 100% hat on. I'm just going to blame Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott jinxed Harrison Barnes. Moving on, though, Harrison had a really bad shooting night. Obviously, he didn't make any of his field goals out there. And we see Carter Bryant get the 16 minutes. This is more what I like to see, to be honest. Carter's been getting a lot of like 10 minutes played games, and then Harrison Barnes will get 27 minutes. So I like the adjustment for Mitch, at least in this game. You can see Harrison Barnes obviously doesn't have it going this game, so Carter Bryant got 6 extra minutes basically. There have been a lot of games pretty much all season long where Harrison Barnes generally gets probably 27 to 30 minutes. So in this game, I like to see that from Mitch Johnson. He at least recognized, hey, Harrison Barnes, you don't have it going tonight. And when Harrison's jump shot's not falling, he doesn't give you a lot as far as like defense and rebounding and things inside the margins. He does a little bit, but he doesn't give you nearly what Carter Bryant's going to give you as far as rebounding goes, shot blocking. Carter Bryant, it's probably too early to call him elite defensively, but he has elite traits on defense, and he just makes such a huge impact whenever he's on the court. Carter had 2 backdoor cuts. I'm pretty sure De'Aaron Fox passed him the ball on both those plays, but not to say Harrison Barnes doesn't do this, but Carter does a great job just moving without the ball. He sees his defender. If his defender turns their back to Carter Bryant, he's immediately hitting a backdoor cut. He got 2 backdoor cuts on the baseline for easy dunks. I think they were both from De'Aaron Fox in this game. And that's stuff that you're just not going to get from Harrison Barnes. I can't remember the last time I saw Harrison Barnes get a backdoor cut from a dunk. Again, not to hate on the man, but I want to win a championship this year. If we can, and if we're just being honest, we're going to go further, not by not playing Harrison Barnes, but by doing rotations like this. Give Harrison 22, he's not on. Give Carter Bryant those extra 6 minutes because he normally gets like 10 minutes. And then Carter Bryant gives you the 8 points. 8 points on 8 shots. It's not great efficiency. Knocks down 1 of his 4 threes. He usually knocks down like 2 for 4, 2 for 5. So, I'm just happy to see him shooting it, to be honest. He has the 4 rebounds, 1 assist. No steals, no blocks, but he's always making a big impact when he's out there defensively. If you have Carter Bryant out there, you can pretty much switch him 1 through 4. You can kind of do the same thing with Harrison Barnes. I mean, you can't put Harrison Barnes on point guards or shooting guards. You just can't keep up with them anymore at this point in his career. So you usually want to have him on like a 3 or a 4. He's usually guarding like a power forward or a small forward out there. And Harrison, he's not bad on defense. He gives effort. It's not like he's not trying or not engaged defensively. But Carter Bryant just does so much more defensively. And I think he's already better than Harrison Barnes offensively at this point. He just needs more reps to kind of get more and more comfortable out there. We're seeing it game in and game out. Just last game, Harrison Barnes had 20 points on like 7 for 10 shooting. So on Harrison Barnes, he can have hot nights, but Harrison Barnes being on fire and Carter Bryant being on fire, I feel like they're going to give you similar levels of scoring if they're both on fire. And then Harrison Barnes, he's just been so up and down lately. And what we're getting from Carter Bryant seems more consistent and just more sustainable, to be honest. I just love Carter Bryant, man. Luke Cornett, Magic City Luke, our boy's going off out there. 10 points. He's 4 for 4 from the field. 8 rebounds, 1 dime. He caught that lob from Wemby. That was a nasty lob from Wemby. It was like a little scoop almost. Just threw it up to Luke for the lob. Saw a bit of the French vanilla lineup. We're probably trying some things out before the playoffs get started, just to kind of see what does and doesn't work before we're in those do or die playoff games. But yeah, great performance from our boy Magic City Luke Cornett. Champagny, he's 4 for 11. He's 1 for 6 from 3 out there. 2 steals, 4 rebounds. Vassell also has the 9 points. Champagny, Vassell, Harrison Barnes. those are our shooters, basically. I kind of put them in the same bucket as far as shooters go. But tonight, for example, Champagne's 1 for 6, Vassell is 1 for 3. All of our shooters, as far as Champagne, Vassell, and Barnes go, they were all off shooting the ball out there. But, Vassell gives you the 5 rebounds. Champagne gives you the 4 rebounds. 2 steals for Champagne. 3 assists for Vassell. 2 assists for Champagne. What I'm just basically saying is, just like I said earlier, they do more stuff just in the margins. If Champagne's off shooting wise, he's normally going to give me 4 or 5 rebounds. Same thing with Vassell. They're going to give us just better defense than Harrison does out there. They're just more versatile, younger, better athletic defenders, and it just kind of is what it is. But Champagne and Vassell both had off nights. They're both off from three. Not really worried about Vassell at all. Vassell has been playing really great lately for the most part. They're both microwave scorers for us, basically. I don't need Vassell or Champagne to score 20 points every single night. They can have games like this where, they score 9 points. At least one of them does. If they both play like this in a playoff game and we get, they both give us 9 points, we will probably lose that game, to be honest. We normally need at least one of them to be on. So let's say Champagne gives us 17 points and then Vassell has his off night. But that would worry me in the playoffs if they both have a game like this. We're probably going to end up losing that game unless De'Aaron Fox picks up a bunch of the slack in that game. Not worried about Vassell. Vassell is back from his injury. He's been on fire for the most part, or at least been giving us that microwave scoring we like. I'm a little worried about Julian Champagnie. He's been off probably the past 5 games or so. I wouldn't blame Champagnie so much. He gets his 6 attempts. We got some good shots out there. I wouldn't put all the blame on Mitch Johnson, but I'd like to see Mitch Johnson try to integrate Champagnie more and more into the offense. I've noticed, I think most of us have noticed he's been a bit cold lately. Not terrible, but a bit cold. I'd like to see Mitch Johnson just draw up, I don't know, 3 or 4 plays per game for Champagnie just to get him some wide open threes and kind of get his confidence back going into the playoffs. I'm not saying he's lacking confidence now, but we've seen Champagnie when he's on. He's giving us 7, 8, 9 threes in a game, and it would be great for us to get, a couple of those performances in the playoffs. We won't need it every single game, but there's probably going to be a game or two where Champagnie or Vassell just gets on fire and they help us win a playoff game. Moving on, our boy KJ, he's 6 for 9, 13 points out there, 5 rebounds, 1 offensive rebound. Just a solid game for Keldon Johnson. This is really 0 turnovers. Keldon does this every single game for us. That's kind of what we're asking him to do, honestly. I've complained about Keldon Johnson the past 2 or 3 years, whatever it is. He'll get tunnel vision, especially before we got Wembanyama. He'll still do it. He'll get tunnel vision from time to time. And Mitch Johnson, instead of telling Keldon to try to see the court more, try to be more of a playmaker because he turns the ball over a lot when he does that, Mitch just kind of channeled his tunnel vision and said, all right, KJ, just come off the bench. Just play with all your energy. When you catch the ball, it's going to sound bad. Don't look to pass so much because Keldon's he's not great at reading the court and making the right reads offensively as far as passing the ball goes. But we're just saying, hey, Keldon, come in the game, catch the ball. If you're open, shoot a 3, bro. If the defender's up on you, just go right. We already know what's going to happen. Keldon's going to get 2 feet in the paint. He's going to hit a floater. He's going to hit a hook shot. Maybe he goes left. He's going to spin right back to his right shoulder and get an and one, or get a finish with his right hand. So he's just our 6th man at this point. I love Keldon just embracing his role coming off the bench. He's the ultimate team guy. He brings us pretty much all our energy, all of our emotional energy off the bench. Keldon's our most emotional player. And I mean that in a good way. He brings the great vibes for the team. And if he can have a couple more solid performances and just play steady to finish out the year, he can definitely win 6th man of the year. Looks like it may go to Naz Reid, but if we finish in the 2 seed and Keldon has pretty comparable stats to Naz Reid, I think he definitely would deserve to win it, but we'll see what happens with that. We already talked about Champagnie and Vassell. Swipa, De'Aaron Fox, he's 6 for 16, 17 points. Not good efficiency. It just is what it is. He's 1 for 4 from 3. His three ball is hit or miss. He's not a great 3-point shooter, but when he's on fire, they do tend to go down at that point. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, the 2 steals, 1 block. He only has 1 turnover. One of his steals, I want to say it was on Con Kneppel. I forget exactly who the player was, but it was on a handoff. Power forward has the ball. The guard tries to run up to get the ball. I want to say it was LaMelo's trying to run up to get the ball. The center sticks the ball out to give it to LaMelo, and De'Aaron just comes up and just fucking swipes the ball. That's why we call him Swiper. It was just an amazing play. He just blew up the entire handoff, and he's going back the other way. And I think he threw Wembanyama a lob on that play. But Fox has such great hands, does a great job playing defense with his feet. Our defense is better having De'Aaron Fox in there. He's a positive defender. And then, he's amazing offensively. Normally, this game wasn't efficient for De'Aaron Fox. It just is what it is. Only the 1 turnover, so that's good. He did a good job taking care of the ball. He normally does. But coming into the playoffs, we're gonna need more from De'Aaron Fox. He's probably the past like 3 or 4 games, he's been turning it up. He's been scoring more and just being more aggressive. It's not so much how many points he scores, it's just how assertive he's being in the game, how hard he's getting into the paint. One thing Fox always does every single game, he only had 4 assists this game, but he always gets 2 feet in the paint, and he's just spraying out for Champagny, spraying out to Vassell, spraying out for Wemby. Stephon Castle lately has been knocking down some threes as well. So De'Aaron always does a great job at least getting 2 feet in the paint and kicking out to shooters. I always make this point, Stephon Castle's a straight line driver. Stephon Castle comes off the screen, straight to the rim, might dunk on a 7-footer, might get in a car crash. Something amazing is going to happen, whether it's good or bad, when Stephon Castle gets to the rim. Where with De'Aaron Fox, he comes off the screen, and he's going like this. He's just winding his way into the paint. He makes defenders have to tag him. Everyone has to make decisions because Fox is just winding, and he can make a mid-range shot right here. He winds back over here. He can make the mid-range shot right here. So guys are having to come over and help out on De'Aaron Fox, and he makes the defense have to make way more decisions. Where with Stephon Castle, kind of comes off the screen and makes a straight line drive to the rim, which isn't a bad thing. But my point is, I think De'Aaron Fox will be better as our primary ball handler once the playoffs get started. Whether it's like a 70-30 thing, 60-40, De'Aaron Fox just get more of the time with the ball in his hands, and then Stephon Castle should be our secondary playmaker behind De'Aaron Fox. I feel like all season long, when Wemby was out for November, De'Aaron Fox turns it up. He's having like 25 points on 50% shooting with 6 assists every single game. It felt like De'Aaron averaged, I want to say 24 points on 50% shooting all November long. So he turned up when we needed him to. We get into the middle of the season. Stephon Castle is just blossoming, getting better and better. Same thing with Dylan Harper. Wemby, of course, is still developing. Carter Bryant. De'Aaron Fox kind of took a backseat, I guess you could say, just to let all the young guys develop and let the young guys get reps because De'Aaron Fox kind of knows what he can do out there. Now we're getting later into the season. De'Aaron's being more and more aggressive. So I think he's just been in cruise control for most of the season, just kind of trying to save himself for the playoffs. And now we're seeing him start to turn up. And once we're like, 2 or 3 weeks away from the playoffs, I bet we're going to see De'Aaron Fox really, really turn it up. Because I think he has another gear that we haven't seen this season except for in November, because I think he can give us that level of aggression kind of every single game, and we're going to see it once the playoffs get started. Castle, Stephon has the 15 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. That's the first thing I always look at with Castle is the turnovers. He does have the 6 turnovers. It's kind of like what I'm talking about. De'Aaron Fox does a better job taking care of the ball. I think he's a better playmaker because he can get to his mid-range shots. I think he's better at reading the court than Stephon Castle and making the right reads. Stephon Castle is averaging 7 assists per game. He has 10 more assists this game. I'm not saying he's not a good playmaker or he's not good at passing the ball, because he definitely is. He's getting better and better every single game at doing that. But I think De'Aaron Fox is more the sure bet. He's going to take better care of the ball in the playoffs. And like I said, again, just have Stephon Castle kind of be the secondary playmaker behind him. But Castle was amazing. He fucking dunks on dunks on the Charlotte Hornets' entire team. He has that reverse lob from Wembanyama, which was disgusting. Knocks down one of his three threes. If he can shoot three threes and knock down one every single game, that's like all we need from Stephon Castle. Or be like 2 for 6, because when he makes 1 3, it just opens up things so much for himself and for all of his teammates as well. Um, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. He does have the 1 steal. Just amazing lockdown defense all game long, like he always does. And I think we're still letting him develop, dude. Just letting him get those reps as the primary playmaker. And then again, like I said, him and De'Aaron Fox will probably split the duties in the playoffs, with De'Aaron Fox having the ball in his hands more than Castle. But I think we're just giving him these extra reps. We've been letting him be the primary point guard basically all season long, and I think it's just for him to get more confident in himself, get more confident in reading the court, playmaking, just decision making once he comes off a pick and roll. And we've seen it. He's gotten better and better all season long. He's getting to his mid-range jumper from time to time, so I like to see that. He's not shy about letting the threes fly, so I like to see that as well. Last game against the Nuggets, Stephon Castle gets that wide open look from 3. Doesn't knock down the 3, but those are the types of shots we're going to need him to shoot during the playoffs, and it's good to see he's not scared to take big shots. But yeah, Castle's been amazing for us all season long. I don't want to give the wrong idea and act like I don't think Castle's an amazing player and an amazing point guard, because he is. I just think he's more of a combo guard, and De'Aaron Fox would be better as our primary playmaker in the playoffs. But we'll see. We'll see how Mitch Johnson wants to play it in about 4 weeks from now. Victor Wembanyama is our God and Savior. He plays only 31 minutes. He has 32 points, 12 rebounds, the 8 assists. I kind of mentioned it earlier. His career high was 10 assists. You don't see him have a lot of games where he has even 5 or more assists, to be totally honest. So it was good to see him playmaking out there. 2 steals, 4 blocks, 2 turnovers. Wemby's he's a fucking god. He's a demigod at basketball out there. 54% from the field. He's 5 for 10 from 3. It's just over for the NBA. If Wemby keeps shooting like this, he's just developing his 3 ball. It's not going to get worse. It's only going to get better from here. He doesn't even know what the hell he's doing out there yet, to be honest. He knows what he's doing more than year 2. Of course, as a rookie, Wemby's just like a deer in headlights. He's just flashing his talent out there, but he doesn't really know what's going on in the NBA as a rookie. Comes in his second year, Wemby's shooting a shitload of threes. Everyone's saying, Wemby's 7'5". He should be dunking the ball every play. Why is he shooting all these threes? All the Spurs fans, we know last year we weren't going to compete for the championship. We could have pushed for the playoffs if Wemby stayed healthy, or at least the play-in, but all the Spurs fans know Wemby's just shooting. He shot like 10 threes per game last year, and that was just for him to get more comfortable handling the ball out behind the arc and getting into his step back 3, shooting threes off the dribble, and just being a ball handler and just shooting a high volume of threes. Because there's going to be games like this where he does take 10 threes just like last year. There's going to be games like the first game of the season against the Mavericks where he's just attacking the paint and just scoring at will in the mid-range and the painted area. So, again, like I said Wemby doesn't know what the hell he's doing out there. He's starting to learn what he's doing more and more every single game. He's just looking more and more scary every single game. If he has an off game on offense, he's just going to give you so much on the defensive end. The other team, their entire offense just has to play totally different when Wemby's in the game. Last game, Jamal Murray, he had some big mid-range shots. He had all sorts of big shots in the game. He had some big mid-range shots. He had a big floater down the stretch as well. And if Wemby was in the game, he would have changed the whole way the Nuggets would have to attack us, and Jamal Murray wouldn't have been able to get into those shots as easily as he was able to. But Wemby's offense has just been looking amazing. I want to see his last 5 games. He's had multiple 30-plus point performances, and he's just gearing up for the playoffs, to be honest. Even Wemby, he had his little calf issue earlier in the season, but even Wemby has been kind of in cruise control almost. He's trying to let the boys develop around him. He's not trying to steal the whole show and kind of, sacrifice his teammates' development just for the sake of him taking the shots. Let's see, for Wemby, for these past 5 games, he's done 39, 29, 27, 38. Then he had a 10-point game against Philadelphia. I don't even remember that, to be totally honest with you guys. We still won the game. We blew them out really bad. He played 24 minutes that game, so if he had some more minutes, maybe he scores more points. But basically, when Wemby's aggressive out there, he can give us 30 points pretty much per night in the playoffs, probably on close to 50% shooting. So, we're going to go as far as Wemby takes us. I mean, that's not even so much true. We have all this guard talent out there. We're just such a stacked, dangerous team right now. And I just can't wait for the playoffs to get started. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 7 million subscribers. Let me know what you thought about the Spurs performance, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace out.